Hello everyone. Today I'm going to work through a couple of examples on converting from the Egyptian numeral system to the Hindu-Arabic numeral system. I'm going to show you the step-by-step process of completing the problem and also talk about the best work practices so you can get to your answer without making errors. All right? So here we have the entire number that we need to convert on the left hand side, right? And it is a string of Egyptian symbols in a straight line. Now the first thing to do is to list your symbols and their equivalent values in decimals. The Hindu-Arabic system is also known as the decimal system. So what I've done here is I've put together a chart where I show the Egyptian symbols, their respective Hindu equivalent values, and a description. All right. Now, you don't need to memorize this. It will be provided to you, but it helps to have it in front of you to minimize the error so that you're not going back and forth hunting for which symbol represents what values. So I've written it down here. If you have the time on your test, it's best for you to have it on the side as well. That's one of the best practices I would recommend. The other thing is when you write out the symbol that you are converting, or the numeral rather that you are converting, it's best to space them out. Please don't write the symbols one on top of each other because that's going to cause a lot of clutter and it's going to result in mistakes, errors, confusion. All right. Now the Egyptian system was a straightforward additive system. There's no subtraction, multiplication, or any other operation involved. It's a straightforward process. So all you need to do is find the value of each of these symbols, write it out, and add them all together. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. You can start from the left to the right or from the right to the left, whichever pleases you. Because this is a straightforward addition, it won't matter. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to take a look at each of these symbols and write their Hindu equivalent. So the first one here, and I'm going to move from the left to the right. The first one here is an astonished man, and that has a value of 1 million. So let me write that here. It has a value 1 million. All right. See, it's already causing some clutter here. Now the next one is a tadpole, and that has a value of 100,000. So what I'm going to do is there are two of these tadpoles, two of these symbols. So instead of writing 100,000 and then another 100,000 for this one, you can write it like that, but I'm going to just write it in a multiplicative form. I'm going to write it as 2 times 100,000. There are two of these tadpoles, so I'm going to write it as 2 times 100,000. The next one is a pointing finger, and there's only one of that, so I'm going to write that as 10,000. That has a value of 10,000, so let's write that down. And then we have 4 lotus symbols. So let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to write that as 4 times how much? 1,000 for each. We are good. The next one is the scroll symbol, like a fat comma here. And there are 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. So it's going to be 3 times 100. Each scroll has a value of 100. And then finally we have the heel bone, which is this downturned U, and that has a value of 10 each, and there are 3 of them, so it's 3 times 10. And now all you have to do is add them up, right? Straightforward addition. So I'm going to write this out to show all my work step by step, which allows me to get partial credit if I make a mistake somewhere at the end. So I'm going to write that down. The first one is 1 million plus 200,000 plus 10,000 plus 4,000 plus 300 plus 30. Right? And then finally you add them all up together to get a value of 1,214,330. That's the Hindu equivalent of this entire numeral string in Egyptian. All right? Let's work on a second example now. We have the numeral listed here. It starts with a tadpole symbol followed by two pointing fingers. Then we have two lotuses. We have a scroll and then four heels followed by a staff. So all you do is write their decimal equivalents below them and sum them up. All right. So the first one is a tadpole. The decimal equivalent of that is 100,000. So I'm going to write 100,000. And then we have two pointing fingers. So it's 2 times the decimal equivalent for a pointing finger is 10,000. Correct? So I'm going to write 2 times 10,000 followed by two lotuses, and each lotus has a decimal value of 1,000. So it's going to be 2 times 1,000 followed by a scroll which has a value of 100. So plus 1 times 100, there's only one of them. Then there are four heel bones. This downturned U represents a heel bone and it has a value of 10. There are four of them, so it's 4 times 10. And then there is a staff which has a value of 1, and then we add them all up. So it's 100,000 plus 20,000, 2,000 plus 100 plus 40 plus 1, and that gives us a value of 122,000, right? 100,000 plus 20,000 plus 2,000 plus 100 plus 40 plus 1 gives us a value of 122,141, and that's the final answer, right?